Hello, everybody. I am Mavis Dawson, and I am here to talk about my literacy and language activity paper. I'll be referring to my notes so that I don't miss anything. But to get started, the title of my project it was a writing adventure, and it was based on creating a collaborative story book or story. And the age group that it was intended for or is intended for is upper elementary, grades 3rd through 5th. I did this with several of my classes from every grade level and from every caliber of student. So it just wasn't limited to the advanced group or proficient. They were all combined. A description of my activity really was, and the reason behind it was to build their vocabulary and literacy, their creativity in writing, so that they can express themselves using narrative writing as a foundation, and to improve their social skills as they would be working as a team. It is Dr. Seuss week, and in the spirit of Dr. Seuss, we were doing it on Wacky Wednesday. So the whole title really, again, it was to build a collaborative storybook, but the real title was writing a Wacky Wednesday story. And what I did, I divided my students up into groups of 4s that were at a table. And sometimes it was just 2, depending on the class level. And not the class level, but the number of students in the class. So sometimes we just had 2 kids at a table, but at each table there was a story element. And with the tables of that story element, the students had to write about that particular element. So if there was at this table was the characters. So the students had to write about the characters. At the next table, you would have the setting of the story. And then the next table would be the plot. And then you would have the closure. And then they would all come together collaboratively and come to the front of the class and present their wacky story. So the plot was the most important part and the funniest part, and they were always trying to figure out, well, who are my characters, and what did the table with the setting, where did they say the story took place? And I would always remind them, never mind that. You just write your part. We're going to put it together like a puzzle, and then it's going to be just a wacky, funny story. And it really, really was a wacky and funny story. The rationale behind it, again, was to build language and vocabulary skills and to promote teamwork and among the students who share a common goal. And our objective, and well, that was our objective, but what I wanted to achieve was to help them build their writing skills to get ready for narrative writing, as it may be on the state writing portion of the state exam or benchmark exam. What I wanted them to learn was how to be a part of a viable, or how to be a viable part of a group. Because all of your contributions matter. And it did not matter what level you were reading at or if you were a strong reader or not. This speaks to my differentiated practices in the classroom. I hovered over all of the tables to make sure that my low kind of struggling students were not feeling left out or felt like their contribution wasn't good enough. I made sure that they were included in that process, and I think they really enjoyed it. In fact, I know they did. And one of them was actually a great drawer, so he became the illustrator for the group, which was really good too. The implementation is described in the story in my lesson, in my paper in detail, but I described it basically earlier. And another part of differentiated instruction that I used was pairing my struggling students with students who were not struggling, so that and the ones who didn't mind helping, so that they would feel like their contribution was valued as well. I do want to speak to assessment, because the assessment for this activity, they were not formally graded. It was an informal assessment, whereas again, my job was to walk around and monitor and facilitate the whole process, the writing process. And they brainstormed and then they put it all together at their table. They had selected a chosen spokesperson. It was really a collaborative effort to pull this off. And I was really, really pleased with the outcomes. The challenge that I presented them with was, for those who wanted to write a story on their own, I challenged them to do so and to come back and during the next class and share that story with me. And I did reward each of them with something at the end of the lesson. For differentiated instruction, their challenge was to either act out their part or share with me what their favorite part or funniest part of the story was, and what they didn't like about it, and what they like or maybe did not like about working in a group. Acting it out was really writer's theater at its best, and I enjoyed it. The interventions, again, was carefully monitoring the students as they progressed through the project. And the accommodations, naturally, I would always follow the IEP that I was given on the students, and I think that that's very important at any level. We need to follow the IEPs and incorporate them into their lessons to make sure that they are included. My reflection on this story, I would do it again, or on this activity, I would do it again and again and again. And I enjoyed it. I really love the outcome of the story, or their stories, and and they did too. So did they. I did end it by an exit ticket, so they had to complete an exit ticket to get out of the classroom, and they did share with me what they liked about this whole teamwork effort, and what they don't like, and how they would enjoy doing it on an individual basis as opposed to in class with a group of students. And that is pretty much my activity summary. Thank you very much.